So, stop me if you've heard this one. There is an obesity epidemic, and that places like McDonald's and Burger King and all those other fast food restaurants are quickly overtaking the American diet, and we are what we eat, right, Onision? We're all junk food eaters to the extreme, and therefore that is why we are in this epidemic that we are. Never mind that the genetics of body sometimes means that some of us will be extraordinarily thin because of genetics, whereas others actually can become overweight, but it's a healthy weight for them. Um, but let me get into why I'm saying half this stuff, and then let me get into this whole epidemic bullcrap, because it is bullcrap. 11% of the American calories are from fast food. U.S. children consume fewer calories too. Let that sink in for a moment for all you people who are constantly bitching and moaning that that the American diet is absolutely 100% poor, that it's probably close to 50 or 60% junk food, including McDonald's and Burger King and all this, and that we need to regulate these fast food industries because they're the reason that we're getting so fat and that we have this epidemic, right? Right? Except, no, we're not. The numbers aren't in your favor. Now, I'm not defending McDonald's. I'm not defending Burger King. I'm not defending any of these places. They are junk, but I know when I buy it for myself or I treat my son to it once in a blue moon that it is junk, that it's a treat. It tastes good. And if it's not done every day or done in extreme moderation, then it means absolutely zilch towards the collective health of myself or my son. But no, all I hear is that we have to have a war on fast food because fast food is the antithesis of what is wrong with America. No, it's not all these other social issues that I've talked about ad nauseum over and over again. No, it's the McDonald's. It's the fact that some people do not have self-control, or as I'm dubbing it, the addiction fallacy. The idea that, oh, because somebody somewhere can become addicted to porn, we must outlaw all porn for the sake of humanity. Oh, because some people can become addicted to the THC inside pot, or even pot itself, that pot must remain illegal because somebody somewhere can become addictive. I'm surprised that we don't try to use the same addiction fallacy for sex, even though we're full and willing to try to paint this picture that sex addiction is so rampant that if you want sex outside of procreation, you're an addict and probably live in your parents' basement and are, masturbating to this porn, and you're simply trying to make an excuse for your addiction. Right, Gail Dines? Right, porn harms? But let me read this article and adjacent articles by the CDC about being overweight and being healthy, because I am sick of hearing epidemic. There is no frickin' epidemic. There is an epidemic in some cases of bad parenting and bad choices, but I don't believe that the government needs to come in and regulate what we eat and what choices we have to put inside our bodies simply because some people can't say no to their children. Which is a whole nother topic of discussion, one that is long overdue about the parenting at times in this and other countries around the world. The average American gets 11% of his or her calories from fast food, and believe it or not, that's relatively good news, reports the AP. The CDC, or Center for Disease Control and Prevention, surveyed 11,000 adults. Okay, so this isn't simply some small percentage here. This is a substantial sample. From 2007 to 2010, that means it's longitudinal. Asked what they ate over the previous 24 hours, and those results are actually down from 13% in the CDC's previous survey from 2003 to 2006. Among the latest survey findings, adults 20 years old to 39 years old get 15% of their calories from fast food. That's still not a very large number, versus the 6% of those 60 years and older. Again, not a really big percentage there. Blacks get 15% of their calories from fast food versus 11% of whites and Hispanics. Young black adults topped the survey with 21%. Now feel free to read the rest of the article here. I shouldn't be here just holding your hand on this particular topic, because then you're going to say, but we still have we still have an epidemic of overweight, obese people, and I should have the right to make fun of them because fat shaming should be the enforced way to shame people into losing weight, except for the people who have genetic problems that absolutely don't allow them to be genetically the weight that we think is healthy versus the weight that is actually healthy for their particular body types. Overweight is okay. Study shows. You can trust the CDC. Dr. Ken Sepowitz praises the new study's honesty. Now, I've covered this one before, but I've got an adjacent article as well, which I won't be going over, but I'll be putting in the on the underbar here. Yesterday, the CDC, now this was back in January 3rd of 2013, released a study that flies in the face of public health orthodoxy. Apparently, you can be too thin. That's staggering, given that for about a century now, fashion, cinema, and yes, public health organs like the CDC have, quote, made thin synonymous with beauty and health, writes Dr. Ken Sepowitz in the Daily Beast. The rout of the public by the thinocracy has been so complete that a goal other than blind pursuit of the flat stomach and the shaped jaw seems sacrilegious. But the heartening thing isn't that you can have a little cake, it's that the CDC is willing to, quote, be guided by data and not by preconceived notions of the message, Sepowitz writes, unlike politics where facts, to quote Ronald Reagan, are stupid. In science, facts are facts and always worth pursuing, end quote, which is why, quote, the same group of public health experts who have fought to keep America thinner was willing to stand behind the current study. Now you can read the full article. There's a link down at the bottom of the article that I just quoted. I implore you, read for yourself. This flies in the face of the people who say that we should have every right to fat shame, that we, the general public, know 100% what is a healthy weight for somebody and what is not. This also flies in the face of the idea that we have an epidemic. We have genetics. We have genetics that is exuding itself in these cases. We're not suddenly becoming fat because of our diets now. In many ways, we're suddenly becoming fat, if we are suddenly becoming fat at all, because of the diets of our grandparents. It's not necessarily even something that our parents have given us. It can skip generational, but we've studied in rats how if you flip on one particular gene, that gene then gets passed on and replicated in generation after generation after the gene has become active. And such things as pesticides, such things as famines, of all things, can cause a genetic variance that then gets passed on to the other generations and may not be expressed profusely in the direct offspring of the people who were first affected, but will then express itself, and I'll try to find the video on this and put it down in the underbar. It's time to stop being idiots. It's time to stop blaming everything but what is actually at fault here. Because at the end of the day, this does not solve any of our problems. Now, if somebody is eating out of control, that is a problem. If a parent is feeding their child Burger King and McDonald's every day, yes, that is a problem. I have not and will never try to advocate that junk food should be a part of a balanced diet, okay? And there's nothing wrong with eating a little healthier. There's nothing wrong, mainly when you're an adult, with becoming, say, vegetarian or vegan. In some people's cases, that is the best possible choice they can make in their life, and I absolutely do respect it. I just don't believe that it is the cure-all, because looking at the data, especially amongst women, in certain cases and with certain health backgrounds and certain epigenetic backgrounds, being vegan may not be the best for everybody, but that's where research comes in, and I definitely implore you to do your research, but stay away from places that have the words natural, complementary, or alternative medicines in the title, because I'm serious. These are not places that will give you factual information. In fact, there is a user who I'll also try to post his link down in the underbar, called Concordance, who is more than willing to back up a good lot of what I have said here, and has even more data to show you, because he has even more time to spend on his particular videos here. So, links to all relevant information is down in the underbar. You can cry wolf about an obesity epidemic all you want. You can cry wolf that Burger King and McDonald's are corrupting the American gene pool all that you want. But you're going to have to come at me with science, or you have nothing but your gut feeling to go on, or something from a place called Natural News, which is not a reputable news organization.